What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your wonderful morning, and this will be another upload here on potential for the two major New Year's snowstorms here. One can bring snow for millions in the Central Plains and the Midwest, days getting closer to New Year's, and then a second system right after can bring in, with a different low pressure, another snowstorm on New Year's Eve night and New Year's Day for portions of the South Central all the way up to the Midwest. So looking at a potential for back-to-back snowstorms for some people on New Year's week here. So we're looking at millions of people that can get a first snowy few minutes of 2021 here. So that will definitely be something very interesting here. And obviously with traveling, this will be quite a dangerous storm here as people could be traveling to family here. So basically throughout the video, we're going to be looking at the timing, who can get impacted the worst. We're going to be going through great details from the first snowstorm to the second snowstorm, region by region. So this will probably be a rather long video as we get closer to the storm here. This is around 24 hours away from the first snowstorm beginning here. So once we get in those 24 hours, things will get messy and messy as we continue on. But before we get in the video, be sure to subscribe, of course, hit the like button, as well if you have any questions in the comments below for your local area, be sure to ask them in the comments and I'll do my best to actually respond to them. But let's now get out of this Google Slides and let's now take a look at the national weather. So let me look here real quick. So as you see, we do actually have a ton of winter weather alerts in this whole area here. We actually have a few winter warnings now all the way to Iowa. Iowa was really the only area that had a winter weather alert yesterday for the Midwest. We now have tons and millions of people now under a winter weather advisory there up in Kansas, Nebraska, all the way up to Wisconsin. We have some type of winter weather alert there, but right there in Iowa, we have those windstorm warnings there. We're going to be seeing really early heavy snow. The bullseye could possibly happen with this first snowstorm for areas like Iowa and Wisconsin here. So definitely something to keep a look at. Well, windstorm watches now remaining for areas like western Illinois and eastern Iowa. So we are definitely looking at a great possibility for some very heavy snow there, but now all the way as well to the west, we actually have some type of winter weather alert. So all the way from California and the Sierras, all the way down to Wisconsin, we have some type of winter weather alert for the same low pressure. Right now, this low pressure is right here in the western United States, bringing some mainly heavy rain with that low pressure just off the coast there in California. However, it is bringing some snow there as we speak for the higher Sierras. But as this low pressure now moves more inland here, and it meets with that trough and that cold front up in the high pressure up into Canada as we speak, it'll bring in a massive snowstorm here, which will happen days before New Year's, obviously. But now, let's take a look now at what we have for this is what the European has right now as we speak. So this is the next 24 hours. So like I did say, the next 24 hours, that storm will become a lot more widespread as that low pressure continues to advance more inland compared to where it is at the moment. So we have a high pressure far up into Canada. You can't see it right now, but that's going to bring some nice cold air in this whole area. It's going to help bring in a lot of that moisture that's there will convert into snow. So it's going to really be really small in those higher elevations, some areas in the plains. But it's going to be very scattered and not too big at the moment. But hours later, this storm just becomes a massive system. This is now by Tuesday. So just a day later, this storm becomes at least 5 times larger, because now not only is it massive, but it's bringing even heavier snow for these areas here. So we're seeing really heavy snow for Nebraska, South Dakota. This is going to be really heavy snow here. The low pressure just to the south. So the low pressure, we have that cold air to the north that's going to bring in that nice dry cold air. We have the moisture to the south, that low pressure. So anything north of that low pressure will get frozen precipitation, as it will be below freezing. However, on the little line there, we'll be seeing a nice mix and dangerous ice conditions. So we are looking at a big ice threat with this system here, but as well, some nice heavy rain as well to the south of that low pressure. So not only will we be seeing some dangerous conditions when it comes to frozen precipitation, whether it's snow or ice, but as well, even for areas that are not getting snow, we could be seeing some massive flooding for those areas that are south of that low pressure. And let's go later on. This is now by Wednesday. So let me move this way. I want to get out of the way. So this is now by Wednesday. We are be seeing a lot of that snow now has really moved a lot more to the east. This will be a fast-moving storm. So there's that low pressure right here near the Iowa and Illinois border, which explains why we have a mix there, because you guys are right in a rain-snow mix. So really to the north is where we're seeing the heaviest snow. And the thing is, directly northwest of this low pressure, where we'll be seeing that heaviest snow. So right there for southern Illinois, eastern Iowa, and far northwestern Illinois is where we could be seeing the bullseye for snow, which is why we already have winter watches and warnings this far out here. But snow, not just for these areas, but all the way up to the Dakotas, where we do have a few winter weather advisories, but it really won't be too major, only a few inches there. And then, of course, being seen that some nice, dangerous conditions there when it comes to the flooding there. Let's now move later on. And this is now by the 30th. So by the 30th, this storm really moves out. So it's not directly a New Year's storm. It's a New Year's week storm. However, this will bring in New Year travel. This will bring in harsh traveling conditions leading up to New Year's, and this snow will still be on the ground when it comes to New Year's. But this is when the second system begins, right here. And I'm now getting a look there. Let's now move out and look at the NAM before we actually look at the new system or the second system. I'll look at the NAM right now. So this is the next 18 hours out. There we have. This is that tomorrow morning, obviously, for Central Time. And Mountain Time, we're going to be seeing some really heavy snow across these whole areas. Really, it's going to gradually get more widespread. Really, the heaviest snow, of course, will be to the north of the low pressure, and a few showers remaining with that leftover moisture to the west across the Rockies. So we will be seeing some snow showers in those areas throughout tomorrow morning. But really, remaining any moisture there, it will be snow until this low pressure really strengthens. Then that rain is going to really come into play there. This is now by the next 27 hours. So this is now by, of course, getting really, really dangerous as we now get into now the early afternoon hours. So now people are really getting on the roads. Possibly, I wouldn't say they're leaving tomorrow, the 29th, but maybe the 30th. But 29th is leading up to the worst day here. We're going to be seeing extremely heavy snow, not blizzard conditions. The winds aren't there. However, we're going to be seeing really heavy snow and could see some whiteout conditions for maybe a few seconds with a small little big gusts. There could be some big gusts, but really won't last 3 hours or longer to bring in blizzard conditions. But as well, big ice around these areas. For the areas to the south of that main snowstorm, going to be seeing some dangerous ice, and that could lead to as well not only car accidents but power outages there, dangerous ice conditions. Later on now, to the 30th, that's when things get really, really messy. Not really for the plains, but for a more populated region here. Really, really heavy snow across areas like Madison, Wisconsin. A few nice heavy snow showers across the Twin Cities, all the way down to areas like Fargo, the Dakotas. We are looking at for potential really heavy snow in these areas, but of course, some nice ice as well on that rain-snow mix. So areas like Davenport, Des Moines, Omaha, you guys are right on that rain-snow mix because the low pressure is just between you guys. So if you're just to the north, you can get really heavy snow. But if you're just to the south, you're going to be maintaining either ice or sleet or even just heavy, heavy rain. But Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Davenport, all the way, of course, Milwaukee here, Green Bay, a few areas there as well. Into Eau Claire, we're going to be seeing some really heavy snow. We're not getting the next 48 hours. That starts to really move out here. So really heavy snow continuing for areas like Wisconsin and southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois because they're going to be seeing the bullseye here. You guys are going to get the heaviest snow, but later on, this storm really moves out. But we obviously now got to take a look now at the second system. Before we do that, I know I haven't forgot about the second system, but before we get that, let's take a look at the snowfall totals for this first snowstorm, and then we'll be looking at that second system. But I really just want to keep this all organized here. So this is really what we have for this whole storm. That's really what we have all the way, of course, from the Rockies all the way to the portions up there in the Midwest. So it's a very widespread system there. A few inches there, up to half foot across the Rockies. So Denver, you guys make maybe 2 to 4 inches of snowfall, as well down there near Colorado Springs. Really similar totals there. But all the way to the east is where we're going to be seeing that heavier snow. You're noticing the bullseye. Eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and far northern Illinois. And that's because that low pressure is going to be just to the south. Just to the south like that. So the heaviest snow will be just to the northwest, and then just to the south, nothing. So it's going to be really hard to track for some areas like Chicago. It's going to be really hard to track for this first system. Omaha is going to be very hard to track for this system. Even all the way to areas like North Platte, it'll be very hard to track for your area. But here, like I did say, really areas in the upper Midwest really going to miss out a lot because you guys are way too much to the north to get that heaviest snow. You guys will get snow. It's not going to be the heaviest snow there, and it'll move out very quickly. Really the most total in the Dakotas will be near areas like Fargo there, 4 inches there. near Aberdeen, and Michelle can get maybe 4 inches. But of course, big totals there across Nebraska. Can get some scattered areas up to half a foot there, and that's going to gradually increase as we move eastward now. Des Moines, up to 5 to 8 inches of snowfall. Davenport, same totals, and up to areas like Madison, Wisconsin, we can see up to over half foot. Last but not least, for this first system, the NAM model, and then we'll look at the second system. So this is what we have right now. So we're going to be seeing, of course, this is what the NAM shows here. So all the way from the Rockies, of course, all the way up to portions there, up in the upper Midwest there, and off the Great Lakes. So there, of course, we have up to near a foot or more across portions of higher rocky elevations, especially in the south central portion there. That's kind of where we see those really heavy snowfall totals no matter what system we look at. So the gradual depth of the gradual normal snow across the Rockies there, maybe an inch or two for Denver, Metro, Colorado Springs, going to be very minimal though. But as we move eastward, obviously it gradually gets larger. The 5 inches there in the North Platte, a few inches there in northwestern Kansas, it's going to really be limited there. So anything just south of that low pressure track, nothing according to the NAM. So it's going to be either snow or nothing. It's a win or lose game here. But more to the east, things get more likely for you to get snow. The low pressure strengthens, the moisture spreads out, the cold air condenses, so things will get larger more to the east there. So for once, we don't have the most snow in the Rockies for once, but really looking at a big storm there for areas like Madison up to 8 to 12 inches there according to the NAM. Des Moines, same thing, looking at up to half foot, as well up to Rockford, we're looking at the 4 to 5 inches of snowfall. So we're really looking at a ton of interesting factors here. Now here's a look at the second system. So I should probably move this way now. So this is a look at the second system. Of course, the first system ends The first system ends December 30th, and this is now December 31st. We start to see our first snow showers developing. Low pressures mainly in this whole area here are going to bring in mainly a lot of that rain. So it's going to be more of a soaker because obviously these areas will be seeing a lot warmer temperatures. However, there will be a cold front coming in right in time to create a cold back end of that low pressure, which will help lead to some snow on the back end. So really the snow will be to the west of that low pressure and not the northwest or not the north. Because that low pressure, really by the time that cold air comes in, low pressure is way to the east, and that backside is where that cold air will be. And that's where things start to get really messy. So snow all up to areas like the Mexico border. So definitely really interesting here. Could get a few flurries maybe for El Paso or any of those areas there. But let's not get it now. This is now by Friday. Actually, let me go now later on to this is now December 31st near midnight. This is almost midnight here. And they're really going to be a big soaker for millions there in Shreveport, Houston, Dallas. It's going to be a big soaker when it comes to the time frame where you're celebrating. This is when the clock's about to drop in Times Square. It's going to get really interesting, but it's not going to be fun to do fireworks. It's definitely not going to be a fun time unless you're the West. You're going to be lucky in New Mexico, Arizona, or northwestern Mexico. However, there will be more dangerous conditions developing to the west. Like I did say, the snow and mix will develop to the west of that actual low pressure. So you're going to start seeing that snow developing there north of Austin, Texas. So we can get snow as far as south near Austin, can get a few flurries if you're lucky. Gainesville, Texas can start to see a little bit of a mix, all the way down to areas as well near south central Oklahoma. We can see about a mix. But this is now by. Let me actually now go quickly back a few hours here. So this is now by this is around 3 a.m. So this is kind of just a few hours after the clock drops. This is actually 2 a.m. Central Time. So this is basically what we're going to be seeing around midnight. Very heavy snow across the areas like central and north central Texas, basically. It's going to be right in the dead end of Texas, not near the Panhandle, not near Dallas. It's going to kind of be really just right dead center central Texas. Just north of Austin, just north of those general areas there near the Austin metro. So it's kind of going to bring in really heavy snow just to the west, just a few counties west of Dallas and Fort Worth. There could be a chance it could easily move more east. It's just whether that really snow or more like that rain can convert to snow in time. So this is kind of what we're seeing, of course, right when the ball drops. And then later on, after this is around now mid-morning, that snow really becomes a lot more widespread. They're really heavy, now moving more into Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma City going to start seeing a snowy morning on your January 1st. Really heavy rain, of course, to the east. Going to be a big soaker, especially for the Mississippi River. Going to be a big mess there. A few showers, maybe snow showers, are possible in the Dallas metro. There is a chance for a few flurries. However, things rapidly change, of course. But really heavy snow continue now. This is now by continue January 1st. That snow continues in the upper Oklahoma region, the Ozarks, and then rapidly moves into the Midwest by the night of January 1st and the morning of January 2nd. Snowfall totals looking very, very high, actually. They've continued to increase here. So really everything's just east of Dallas, or sorry, just west of Dallas. So what Dallas is, let's see, Dallas is, I believe, right here. They're kind of right on the edge of that trace, or 2 inches there. So things are really iffy when it comes to Dallas, but really if anything has the best chance, surprisingly, Fort Worth, because, well, Fort Worth is to the west of Dallas, like, right? It's like the Twin Cities there. You got St. Paul, you got Minneapolis, and then obviously you got Dallas and Fort Worth. I believe Fort Worth is west of Dallas. So if anything, there can be a big difference between Dallas and Fort Worth snowfall, because, again, you guys are right on that rain snow mix. You guys are going to be really iffy on whether you guys can reach below freezing here. So Dallas, you guys are looking at snow, but very limited. But if you're in Fort Worth or anything west of Dallas, you guys are looking at a good chance there. Just north of, obviously, Austin as well, right on the little mix there. Austin may see a trace. When's the last time I've said that? Probably the last time I've said a trace for Austin has been since Benji in 2017 there. But look at that. New year, new Texas. You guys are not getting snow there. In Texas, not like Amarillo, not Lubbock. Actually, southern Texas, all the way down the Mexico border, and up to a foot. Yes, I said a foot near Gainesville, Texas, and as well to 4 to 5 inches near Oklahoma City. Things will rapidly change, however. Things will really, really change. We have plenty of time because, again, this is the second system. The first system starts tomorrow, but this starts way later here. This starts December 31st, so plenty of time for that to change. So, of course, this is now December 30th. That big snowstorm, that first snowstorm is going to really continue to really bring in that heavy snow, of course, of those higher elevations, or not higher elevations, higher populated areas by Wednesday night. And then now by, obviously, now getting to Thursday, then we're going to see that back side of that low pressure here. So this is the second low pressure, actually. The low pressure is all the way down there, of course, down into areas like the South Central. However, it's still bringing in a very widespread amount of moisture, and that high pressure is still there. I mean, it's obviously more in the west, but it's still bringing that nice cold there. So that snow will develop on the backside. Chicago, a few flurries on the first little portion of that second system here. But obviously, this is just the beginning of that system, this second system. So that's going to possibly bring in maybe some snow across northern Ohio, some scattered flurries there near Columbus. So this is not going to be Ohio storm. It's not going to be a big Ohio storm. It's just going to be a few flurries developing from the backside of that low pressure there. But this is when it's going to get really, really interesting here. Now, look at this. This is now by January 1st. And actually, from this way now. Look at this. I mean, we're seeing a mix all the way from Kansas City to looping around to Cleveland. And that's going to be because there's that low pressure. Low pressure is going to be around right there. That's going to bring that heaviest snow just to the northwest and heaviest rain just to the northeast here. So it's going to kind of be right on the Mississippi River there. As you'll kind of be seeing that little, borderline of mix there, like St. Louis there. Heavy rain there by January 1st, and then really big, dangerous mix there for Chicago. Chicago, this could be your storm. I know Harold and Dane were both a bust for you guys, but this has a better chance. The cold air is already in place, so you guys don't have to worry about just missing it, because that cold air is already there. It's been there days before, because that's how that first one began, and it's going to be there. So whatever comes in your way, Chicago, could be snow or dangerous ice there. But we go later on now. This is now by the morning of the 2nd of January. Things just continue to just blow up in the Midwest. I mean, Madison, you guys get snow on the 30th and the 31st. Then days later, you get another big snowstorm on the 2nd. So by the time you get to January 3rd, it's going to be up to feet of snow in Wisconsin and Illinois. Madison may see a foot and a half between these two snowstorms. Really heavy snow continue as well from northwestern Illinois. These areas, they're going to get hit really hard with that first system. We'll get hit rocked with that second system. So it's going to be, I know you guys didn't get much snow in the Midwest so far this winter, but this will be the storms for you guys there. But even snow all the way down to Kansas City there. Could see a few flurries there. So Kansas City may get a few your first snow this year as well. Or technically, because this will be 2 days in the new year. So this will be your first snow of the year there, technically, and not just the winter. And now we get to the third, or the night of the second, things will start to diminish there and really fall apart. But let's take a look now at the actual snowfall total for these areas. And we actually can't look at the NAM because the NAM does not go this far out because this is the second system now. It's too far out to actually look at the NAM because the NAM goes 60 hours out, and this is more than 60 hours out. But this is combined with the first and second system, so this is not just the second system here. I wish I could just look at the second system, but I can't because it's after that first system, so it has to be together. So this is everything together for the Midwest for the both storms. So Wisconsin, Madison up to 1.5 feet there as well. Look at up to Milwaukee, 8 inches. Look at Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan's gonna get hammered. It's sad because Lake Michigan, the lake itself, may get more snow than Chicago. So Chicago still potential 1 to 3 inches snowfall. And that I guess you in Chicago, based on viewers that live in Chicago, you guys would take that definitely because it's been a very boring winter so far. But all the way down to Kansas City, up to 4 inches near Kansas City. So could see a good amount of snow there across Kansas City, all the way down to Topeka, up to 8 inches there. Minneapolis, Twin Cities, an addition of 4 to 5 inches compared to their Howard snowfall, to near over a foot north of Des Moines. Really heavy snow there. The bullseye, like I just said, the bullseye will be eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and northwestern Illinois, or far northern Illinois. You gotta put it either way. But this is looking at millions, and this is not only a threat for travel in the upcoming days before New Year's, but travel after New Year's when you're going back home. So if you're going to Minneapolis, Madison, Des Moines, Kansas City, Chicago, a big hot spot there, you guys are definitely have to watch out for some dangerous travel. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I wasn't in the way too much of the video because I know I got a few comments there saying try not to get in the way. So I hope I did my best because I also want to do like the green screen style and all of that. But hope you guys enjoy the video, and bye guys.